Welcome to the first coffee break of the 2024-2025 school year. Hope you're all as excited as I am to be here. Who are we here with today?
Hi, I'm Ava.
We're here with Ava, and what are you representing today?
Lakeside crew.
Lakeside crew. And Ava, what are you drinking?
I am drinking a mango smoothie today. Yeah, mango is one of my favorite fruits.
What's your usual drink of choice here?
I don't usually drink Yeah, I generally just go for some pastries, some donuts. Not much of a tea or coffee drinker, so usually smoothies. Yeah.
When are you usually here at Diva Espresso, where we
Usually
are?
just like spring break training, sometimes like after practice, I'll get like a snack here.
Okay, so this is this like the crew hotspot? Is this like Lakeside is to Rain Cafe as crew is to Diva Espresso?
Honestly, not really. It's just here and so convenient. So some of us go here occasionally, but I don't think we have a main like crew spot besides like Flo Anna's, where we sometimes go and get like breakfast together.
Oh, fun. I want to ask about your role as fall crew captain. So you're the captain. Who else is the captain on your team?
Yeah.
Varsity girls, right?
Yeah, so Kira, Lily, and Margaret, and then for the guys' team, we have Bobby and Brady.
Okay, cool. So tell me more about your role. So what does that entail? What are you going to do this season that's different?
I guess as a captain or is my specific roles?
As your specific.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I guess for me, just mainly like answering emails from like our head coaches, and then also coordinating like getting merch and stuff like that. I don't know. Generally, I think my role isn't like one of the biggest ones. So just kind of some more behind the scenes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, cool. I have to ask: are there any initiation rituals? Maybe is not the right word. That's a little misleading, especially given the cult perception. But any like traditions that captains are involved in? Anything like that?
Yeah. I mean, so just tomorrow, actually, us girls captains are going to meet together and write little letters to all of our teammates.
Oh, cute.
Yeah, it's something we do before each fall season. So it's just kind of like, hey, like I'm excited for you to join crew and see you.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, that's a really fun initiation ritual.
Yeah, and then we also do we make sinker cookies, which are just we change the recipe every year, and we make those for like travel regattas. So I'm excited to do that too.
That's so cute. Yeah. See, I was thinking more along the lines of like you take the new recruits and you like throw them into the slough.
Well, I mean, like on people's birthdays, with their consent.
Yes.
With their consent, if they want to.
Okay.
I've actually never gotten tossed in because my birthday is always before spring fling, so I don't want to mess with my hair or anything. It's also like sometimes on my birthday. I guess obviously
spring fling is on your birthday.
Yeah. So not the best timing.
Okay. If your birthday was at a different time, would you?
I don't know. None of the winter birthdays ever do, but I think some.
I could not be
like
convinced.
Late spring birthdays. Yeah.
I don't think I can be convinced. I don't trust whatever's in the slough.
Yeah.
Sketchy. So, as captain, is that what you call yourselves, captains? Or what is this, like, LT thing?
It stands for leadership team. So,
leadership team.
Yeah, girls we usually say, like, leadership team, but the guys team specifically captains. But, overall, both of us together.
I thought it was, like, lieutenant.
No.
Like, you had, like, different, like, military ranks, but no. So, as captain, what are your, like, hopes or goals for the year, for the team, in terms of actual competitions, in terms of, like, morale? What are your aims?
Well, our primary coach, Coach V, usually sets a lot of these big goals. Like, last year, some of them were to get, like, all of our eights, like, 15 seconds apart, like, in time for some of our races. That didn't quite happen, but that was one of our goals. I don't know, yeah, so she hasn't really told us yet, because mainly our primary, like, competitive season is spring, so fall and winter is just, like, all kind of, like, building up to that. So, but hopefully just, like, greater team connection, hanging out with each other, getting, like, the rookie varsity. So.
Okay, cool. Do you expect to have a lot of new recruits this year? Yeah, really?
I think, actually, I don't know exactly, but, like, at least 10-ish?
Okay.
Well, maybe not quite 10, but, like, around there. So.
Yeah, and so 10 is definitely substantial. Oh, that's great. Mostly coming from the middle school, or do you know, is it like freshmen are really into it this year?
Oh, I guess about half and half, but like I think leaning a bit more towards middle school.
Okay, interesting. Huh. What are the, kind of going off of that, what are the strengths of this year's team that you know so far? Or any secret weaknesses that you want to reveal? but you know, like holy names might be watching this, so be careful what you say.
I feel like we had some really great like experienced coxswains. We only lost one coxswain like last year, so I think we'll like have a lot of skill that will carry over, which will be really great. We also have a bunch of new coxswains coming in, so hopefully they'll get to like learn a lot.
Oh, I want to ask about school spirit. So, obviously, this is an ongoing conversation. Everybody, you know, we always have horrible school spirit, right? Nobody shows up to anything. Do you find that the crew team has that problem? Do people show up to your competitions?
Honestly, not really. I mean, to get people, usually our families come, like our parents come, and then sometimes I'll reach out to like, I invited my advisor like last spring and she came to one of my regattas, but generally I think people don't, because I feel like sometimes it's out of the way, it's like early morning, kind of sometimes dreary weather. So.
Yeah, that's fair. Is it usually, like, how early are we talking?
I guess it's a bit earlier for us, because we sometimes have to arrive on site at like 5-ish, but usually the races take place around like 8 to maybe like 2-ish, so really.
Yeah. I was hearing from a unnamed source, Timothy, that your practices start at 6 and they're happening now. It's August 14th as we're filming this, and you've already been practicing for a week?
Kind of, yeah. It's only summer crew though that we have morning practices. I think it works pretty well for everyone's schedules, but during the school year, just like 3:30 after school.
Okay, I guess maybe that's not so maybe. Yeah, talk us through a typical fall practice that's going to be coming up in the next couple of weeks. When do you get there? How do you get there? What are you doing when you get there? What are you doing on the water? Talk us through it.
Yeah, so in fall, what we normally do is we'll have like just one day on land, but most days are on the water, so we'll get there at like 3:30, 3:45-ish, just get changed, and then we'll start with our plan of the day. So we often have like a little board, and Coach B will talk us through what we're going to focus on, usually like a technique aspect, while we all stretch, which is something our coaches have been emphasizing. And then we'll go in the water, usually do some sort of like warm-up drill, maybe something like the pick drill, which is where we do like a lot of partial strokes, and then build to like fuller strokes, just to like work on different aspects of it. And yeah, we'll usually go into sometimes like we'll do more high intensity pieces, sometimes more technique based pieces, and then we'll come in debrief practice. But I think my favorite part, I guess, just like spending time on the water, just in general. It's really pretty and beautiful, and we get to see a lot of like wildlife, and sometimes like kind of like little sunsets depending on like what time of year.
Oh, okay. What's the craziest wildlife you've seen at crew practice?
Okay, maybe not that much wildlife. We saw like an eagle one time, and then we see like sometimes like dogs on the shore.
Okay. Wildlife.
Well, there's some herons too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you see? So you have your water bottle in the boat. What else is like a what's in your bag episode? What do you bring in the boat with you? What are your like crew essentials?
Yeah. So socks, definitely. Just put your feet in the foot stretchers. Is there like shoes in the boat that you put your feet in? So green socks. And water bottle, typically with electrolytes for me at least. I find that definitely helps a lot of us. And I guess when it's raining, our splash jackets, which is basically just a rain jacket.
You get those as like crew merch, right?
No, actually, well, we just get them lent out. You don't keep them.
That's so sad.
Yeah, we get them every fall. We just keep them throughout the year.
Do you have a favorite piece of crew merch that you actually do get to keep?
Okay. I really like the quarter zip we got in the spring.
Ooh,
yeah, I think
quarter zip.
Yeah, I think it just
I'm very
looked really
jealous
nice.
of
It was like
those.
kind of white gray and it had like the Lakeside crew emblem. I like that. I guess something I really like about crew is that we get to like participate in the Learn to Row program and like volunteer to help teach kids how to row.
Oh, I've never heard about that. What is
Oh
that?
yeah. Well, it's like pretty similar to like Lakeside's other like sports camps. It's just like 1 week kids sign up. But I think that's definitely one of my favorite parts. Like every summer I come and like teach like little middle schoolers or freshmen like how to row. And so yeah, I think I love doing that.
Oh, I didn't know that. Do all sports have that?
I think volleyball also has that. Maybe basketball. I don't think all sports have that.
I never knew that. That's crazy. Huh. So it's just for freshmen and like.
Well, it's like there's an age range, but it's like generally middle schoolers to freshmen.
That's so cool. So are you guys like the teachers, or are your coaches involved, or is it just you guys as like camp counselors, I guess?
Yeah, so it's mainly run by Coach Steve, who's our varsity girls assistant coach, and then we also usually have another coach come in. It's usually one of like our veteran like rowers. They come in like from college. It's
Oh,
pretty
that's so
fun.
cool.
Yeah, and then the rest of us just like help out. We like row on the boats with them. We take all the equipment out and coach them a bit like on our and stuff.
Gosh, cool. Okay. I learned something new by asking an open question. Journalism is real. Oh yeah. Any anecdotes? Weirdest thing that ever happened during practice? Scariest thing that ever happened during practice?
I think it's scary when the equipment gets damaged. But overall, something fun that happened in the spring. One time, Coach V brought us popsicles on the water. It was super fun. Yeah, she just saw we'd been working hard. It was a hot day, so we just got surprise popsicles.
That's so nice.
Yeah, we all really love that. And I think it just speaks to how great some of our coaches are. Yeah, I mean, in the fall, I think I'm actually really grateful. We only have 3 major regattas, so
Okay.
yeah, so it's pretty reasonable because I know a lot of other sports have like a game a week, and that's like so
true.
stressful. But I think it's really great that we have these big regattas, and we also get to have more time to like work on our skills and like have our technique really show at our competitions.
Tell us about the difference between spring season and fall season.
Yeah, so fall, well, we still do compete. We have 3 regattas. We generally use it to work more on like our technique, especially bringing in like a lot of rookie varsity, making sure they row as we normally row, just on varsity, transition to like novice varsity. And yeah, so our regattas will be much longer. We'll do like times like 3.5Ks, 4Ks, that type of thing. And yeah, and so we'll go like tail of the lake, head of the lake, and Portland Fall Classic are the regattas we get to. And then in the spring we have a lot more regattas, some more trouble regattas, and then a lot just like one day on weekends. And we'll usually do like 2Ks as our main race, which is just a way shorter distance. It's just like 7 to 8-ish minutes.
Okay. Do you have a favorite distance to row or to compete at?
I like 2Ks, definitely. Yeah, I think it's just short and sweet. It's nice to like get that done. In the fall, the races are often more just kind of like holding and maintaining the pressure you put in. So I think it's just very different, like strategy-wise. But yeah, I like the spring season.
Yeah. And speaking of races, walk us through a typical race day for you. Do you have any like superstitions around a race day?
In the spring, we definitely have way more regattas, so we'll have sometimes like one kind of like every week. But yeah, I think they're really fun times. In between, people don't really do homework. Sometimes there's a bit of bad homework happening. But yeah, generally we play cards, chat, and like eat at the food tent, which is really fun.
What do you have a favorite regatta that you go to?
Probably just regionals. Yeah, I love regionals because it's just like you spend so long there. Like the weather is great, and it's also just so fun and exciting because this is where we get like our big like medals. Like yeah, so at regionals we have the high school 8s, which is kind of different from all the other races because usually there's like VA, JVA, which is like, and then like it goes on. So we have just like a lot of 8s, but the high school 8s are really fun, kind of like not as official events. And so there's still medals, but everyone gets to like dress up, and it's just like really fun and silly.
Oh, that is fun.
Yeah, and also because a lot of clubs compete that aren't actually necessarily just schools, so they sometimes end up with like really fun combinations. Like someone's never crossed before because that's like the only person they have left. And so it's a really fun, chaotic, spirited thing. But also another favorite of ours is like Brentwood, which is in Canada. So we go to this like kind of boarding school, and we're gonna go there this year as well because we do it like every other year.
This fall or this spring?
Spring.
Okay. Any like routines that you do beforehand, or how do you prepare going in?
Yeah, so usually arrive at the course around like 5 a.m., sometimes 6 if we're lucky. Yeah, and so we have our trailer with all of our boats and equipment that our coaches have like driven over before, so we have to unload everything, re-rig our boats, so we put the riggers on it, which like hold the oars back on the boats and like tighten everything, and then after that we generally kind of like hang out, and then right before your race you'll meet with your boat, kind of talk about last like minute like strategy and just kind of like what you're nervous about or like what you want to like focus on, and we'll go out and we'll have like a 45 or so minute warm up, race, come back in, and then maybe some hopefully more downtime for our next race, but sometimes we do hot scenes, so it's like a pretty quick transition between races. Yeah.
And what is the food like at regattas? Do you have like parent volunteers? Isn't that it?
Yeah, so we have the food tent. in the fall, we don't have as many things just because there are like just a few regattas and they're not like too long. But yeah, in the spring, we have a really great food tent. We have a bunch of parent volunteers who come and cook for us. I personally love the pancakes from the food tent. It's one of my favorite things.
Plain old pancakes, blueberry, chocolate chip.
Just like general, I don't know, I generally just love the breakfast foods. But yeah, and then we also have our regatta soup, which everybody loves.
I've heard about the regatta soup.
It's just like tortellini soup with some veggies, but it is very good, especially when it's super cold out. So.
Yeah. How did you get into it initially?
Oh, yeah. So what happened? I started crew in 7th grade at Lakeside Middle School, and I was just looking at the fall sports options. Nothing else was interesting. And so my dad was like, you should do, like, a sport. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess gotta be crew. Yeah, my older cousin also does it, so she had some good things to say about it. So that's when I started. I've just stuck with it since.
Cool. How are the friendships that you've built through crew? Because I think one of the special things about crew, at least as it seems so from the outside, is that you are with these people so much that like you really become close friends with them. So how have your friendships, I guess, been influenced by crew throughout the years?
Well, yeah, I think definitely some of my best friends are on the crew team. Just spend so much time with them. And yeah, I think it's really nice to like share a sport and then also be able to like talk about other things like school. So I think it's a really nice experience. I also have a lot of friends who are outside of crew, so I get like a nice buddy.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, let's play a little game. Crew dictionary. I'm gonna make a list of terms.
Yes.
What is an 8?
An 8 is just one of the types of boats we have. They're comprised of 8 rowers, hence the name, and then 1 coxswain.
So there's like, isn't there like 8 plus is one of them? Or are they always like, 8s always have a coxswain?
8s always have coxswains. It's just a safety thing. It's such a big boat that goes super, super fast, so they always have coxswains.
Do you know how fast they go?
I don't know, but we have bow balls on them for that sort of safety, so they don't like injure anyone. Say someone like falls up in the water, and like it's just but yeah.
What is a regatta?
Regatta is just a crew competition, so we'll do a bunch of races. Usually people race like once to 3 times like per regatta, or well, per day usually.
Yeah. What is catching a crab? Ooh, I know crew terminology too.
Yeah, it's just when your oar kind of like catches in the water, but it kind of like pushes you back, so the oar will go in. Swing back. Sometimes your oar will like end up hitting you, unfortunately. No one's gotten seriously injured. There are also things such as ejector crabs. I have never personally seen one, but it like swings you get tossed out of the boat. Yeah, I haven't seen those though.
Have you ever gotten like injured through crew at all?
No, I haven't. Yeah, I'm very lucky, but I think people don't really get injured, or if anything, it's like an overuse injury, so we go see like Antonio.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Gosh, what are the other terms that people need to know about crew?
I guess coxswain.
Yeah, what's a coxswain?
Yeah, so coxswain is just like the person who steers the boat and then also kind of provides us with their strategy during the race. So they don't really just scream like row row like a lot of people think they do, but we'll often have a race plan that they'll follow. So sometimes they'll be like, oh, I want you to like tighten up this piece of like technique, or we're gonna go into the sprint like in 2 strokes. So they provide us with a lot of necessary information like that, as well as like letting us know where other people are as soon as like on the field. It's like a head-to-head race.
Okay. Other than an oar, tell us what an oar is. No, I'm kidding. You don't have to do that. It's what you row with.
Yeah, I mean, we don't use paddles, we use oars. They're like...
What's the difference between a paddle and an oar?
I think the shape and size are very different. So we have sweeping and sculling, which are 2 different types of like rowing. And so sweeping...
I don't know about that.
For sweeping, every rower has 1 oar. And so that's a much longer oar, around 7, 8-ish feet. I'm not quite sure. They're pretty tall. And then for sculling, the oars are a bit shorter, and each person has 2 oars. So they're just different types of rowing.
Okay. Do you do both at competitions?
As a team, we generally do more sweeping, just as a whole. But there are definitely some more teams that do kind of like all schooling or mainly schooling. And sometimes we do a mix, so we'll have boats that are like doubles, which are like 2 people schooling, so 2 oars each. But yeah, generally row like 8s and 4s during the sweeping.
Okay, interesting. Okay, what other terminology do we have? Anything else?
There's a lot of like technical parts of the stroke, but I don't think that's very necessary because I'm not teaching them how to.
Do you have a favorite jargon? Favorite word?
I guess I don't really have a favorite jargon, but I guess puddles is kind of fun.
Puddles?
People usually think of them as just like water on the ground, but a puddle in crew is just kind of, when you take a stroke, it's like the disturbance in the water you leave behind, so they're kind of like swirling pools and stuff. They can tell you a lot about like how powerful your stroke was and like how sort of connected you were to the water, like how much power it translated.
Oh, interesting. That's a new one. Oh, I'm learning so much. I feel like maybe it's my time to go back to crew.
Yes.
I'm kidding. It's not. Don't put that on camera. Yeah. So Tatler a couple years ago covered. Well, I think it was a satire article about crew being a cult, and it did get some negative reactions from the crew team. Yes. But yeah, it did.
I remember.
Really?
Like, our coaches didn't really like it. I mean, like, I don't know, because I think they do such a great job, and obviously they're not like really at school much, like talking to students, like they don't really hear like what other people think of crew.
Yeah.
So I think just reading that is like sort of like sad for them, but
yeah. Okay, great. Yeah, I think let's wrap it up for now so we don't have too much to edit too. We'll save ourselves on that one. Ava, thank you so much for joining us, telling us all about crew. Any last words? Why should people join crew? You know, you may be talking to an impressionable young freshman or sophomore who wants to get into crew. What would you say to them?
Yeah, I guess I would just say it's really great to just try a different sport. I think it's one of those sports you don't really try just like in middle school PE or whatever. And I think it's really fun to just like go out on the water, and it's very different than a lot of other sports. So I like that it's unique.
Great. Yeah, well, thank you so much for joining us. We'll catch you next time on Coffee Break. Thank you all for having your coffees with us or your mango smoothies.
Yes.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye.